Hello world, um, YouTube world that is. My name is John Kim. I own the study room in the city of Ventura. I have students from all over the place, as far north as Dos Pueblos, Kate School, Santa Barbara, as far south as Thousand Oaks. I had a couple of students in not Newberry Park, excuse me, Calabasas High. Currently, I don't have it. I'm not working with any students from Santa Barbara, but it's the same type of work, especially with calculus. So let's get started. I will be doing a lot of these, all the way from geometry. The lowest level I go, I do not do algebra 1, all the way up to calculus BC in the high school setting. So hopefully you'll bear with me, learn something new, use it, work on it, and get better on this information. So this is one of the problems that one of the students submitted to me. He's one of my students. It says that y is equal to 8 sine of x over 4 minus x times the square root of 16 minus x squared over 2. And I pre-wrote some problems down. The derivative of the inverse sine is 1 over square root of 1 minus x squared. The derivative of sine of inverse of x over a is 1 over a squared minus x squared. I can derive all of these by hand, and on a later lecture series, I might do that for you guys. Excuse me. Just to make sure, I did write the information down ahead of time, worked out the problem before I actually started to make the videotape. So I will reference it once in a while because due to simple erroneous errors, I'm going to be referencing this paper. So let's take derivative, y prime. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Oh, excuse me, y prime. There it is. The derivative of y prime is equal to, here's the first term. I'm going to work in the first term only. There's an 8 there. That's a constant. So it's constant times the derivative of x over 4. I'm going to use purple right here. I'm going to call this our add a value, and that's the same a value located right over here. So I end up with 8 times 1 over the square root of 4 squared minus x squared. And then the 2 in the denominator is 1/2, so I'm going to factor out 1/2. And then times the derivative with respect to x of x times the square root of 16 minus x squared. I'm going to call this f right over here. I'm going to call this g. I always call the first part f, the second part g. The reason is because f comes before g, and I, of course, have to use the product rule on this. I have a very special rule that I use. It's very similar to other teachers. I've seen some YouTube teachers that use similar to mine. The book does it quite differently. But if you memorize it this way, f prime times g plus g prime times f, it'll be a little bit easier in the long run. The reason why I say this is if I use the quotient rule, it's going to be f prime times g minus g prime times f all over g squared. So this is the product rule. There's a plus and there's a quotient rule. I just add a minus in front of it. The derivative of the first times the second plus the derivative of the second times the first. The derivative of the top times the denominator minus the derivative of the denominator times the top all over g squared. Always write the information down before you start. I'm going to have to take the product rule of this second portion. I'm going to clean the first part a little bit. The 8 goes to the top. This becomes y prime is equal to 8 over 4 squared is obviously 16. So 16 minus x squared minus 1/2. And then let's start taking the derivative of this. The derivative of f is just 1 times the square root of 16 minus x squared plus, and then the derivative of a second, I'm going to write this as 16 minus x squared to the 1/2. So I'm going from a radical form to an exponential form. The derivative of an exponential is you have using the power rule, bring on down the 1/2 and then subtract 1. So it becomes 1/2 16 minus x squared to the negative 1/2, and then times the chain portion, which is the derivative of the inside. The derivative of a constant is 0. The derivative of x squared is negative 2x, using the power rule, and then times x. So I'm going to highlight this for you to tell you where it's located. That's f prime times g plus the whole thing is g prime times f. So the proper rule can be a little bit messy. It's kind of messy on this one. Y prime is equal to 8 over square root of 16 minus x squared minus, clean this up a little bit, 1/2 times the square root of 16 minus x squared. The 1 cancel goes away basically. The 2 and the 1/2 cancels. The negative goes to the denominator. X times x is x squared. So this will be minus x squared all over square root of 16 minus x squared. End brackets. Let's make sure I did that. The 2's cancel. We have an x squared over here. There's a minus in the front. Let me slide this over just a little bit. And you have g prime times f, which is x squared here, and this is in the denominator. Yes, got it. So y prime is equal to 8 all over square root of 16 minus x squared. I'm going to distribute the 1/2 minus 1 over 2 square root of 16 minus x squared. And then, since there's a minus and a minus, it's going to be a plus x squared all over 2. Excuse me, let me see. Sorry, this was in the numerator. Square root of 16 minus x squared. Yeah, I had something off. Because this is the same thing as over 1. Right, so this goes to the numerator instead of the denominator. And then x squared times 2 square root of 16 minus x squared. Now we have to get the common denominator. What is the LCD? It's going to be, there's a 2 here, and the square root of 16 minus x squared. So it's 2 square root of 16 minus x squared. And so I'm going to work it out. I'm going to multiply this by 2. Multiply this by square root of 16 minus x squared. Multiply top by square root of 16 minus x squared. I'm not going to do anything with that. So I'm going to clean this up just a little bit. Y prime is equal to 16 over the common denominator minus this times itself is going to be 16 minus x squared all over the common denominator plus x squared over the common denominator. I'm going to put in one common denominator, one simple fraction, and these are the partial fractions. So it's going to be 16 minus 16 plus x squared plus x squared. The 16's cancel. You end up with 2x squared over 2 square root of 16 minus x squared. The 2 cancels. End up with x squared over square root of 16 minus x squared. I hope it helped. Good luck on your studies. Thanks.